try this again. I was just about ready to get into a game and experience some weird things with YouTube here. So let me just go ahead. Seems like we're back up. Let me go ahead and 2019 and dealt away any of my veteran players for even more prospects. So basically just to try to line the system with as many premium prospects as I possibly could. So that's what I did. And then the idea is using a method where I'm able to get through multiple seasons in a fairly short amount of actual games played. We're going to hopefully my goal is for the years 4 and 5 to be dominant, but if something happens during year 3, I'll be ecstatic to basically build up this young group of prospects into a juggernaut. Now, remember, I'm in the American League East with the Rays, so it's not going to be very easy. So the method is simply to you start your season and you play your games, and this was in episode 1. I won 8-6, quite a thrilling game actually. And then I lost 4-3, just one 3-run homer in that game, so the offense was kind of stagnant. And so that sets up a situation where now it's elimination. I have to win the next 5 in a row in order to actually keep my human playing experience alive. And if you don't, if you lose any time during those 5 games, then that triggers a simulation. The first simulation takes us through the All-Star break. We would stop and do the draft, but the All-Star break, at which point I would look to make any trades I would want to make, free agent signings, even if there's anyone in the free agent pool that would help. And then you start playing again. But again, you go right back to the situation where once you lose, you have to win 5 in a row, or else then it triggers a simulation till the final 10 games of the season. And if you are in contention, then you play those final 10 games in full. If you're, let's say, you have a 1 or 2 or 3 game lead in the division or wild card, or if you're within 1 or 2 or 3, but I don't expect to be there, especially here in year 1. If you're not in contention, you can just go ahead and simulate those final 10 as well. Get through the playoffs and then get to your off season. So you can do all that, and sometimes it's only, I've gone through where you end up only playing 5 or 6 games, and yet you're you're connected to your team, and you're going into an additional season and going through all that franchise stuff that us franchise people like to do, and your off-season maneuvering and setting your roster and contracts and all that good stuff. So, quick look at my roster before I start a game here. So, we have these prospects that were already in the Rays system, like McKay, Richards. We added the two big names we added on the pitching side of things were Forrest Whitley out of the Astros organization. He's a top prospect, and then Jackson Rutledge as well. These were two. So we're kind of looking forward as a three-man, and possibly Richards being a fourth. Our three-man, studs, kind of a playoff rotation, if you will, of McKay, Whitley, and Rutledge. A fourth might be a guy that might be a trade area. If I can package a few of my prospects and get another top pitching prospect, that's something I might do at the deadline. Now there is Brent Honeywell Jr., who his prospect star has fallen a little bit. He was, you go back 2 years, he was among the top rated prospects in all of baseball, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit, but he still does have a potential in the game, and he's only 24 years old. So I have him on the major league roster, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, those two pitching prospects were really the two big ones I was able to add. In the position player side of things, I added Shea Langoliers, and Varsho. So I really have a wealth of catching, and actually I may be able to deal from this to get that pitcher, or I'll talk about in a second, a first baseman. Because I have Ronaldo Hernandez, who's an A-rated prospect. Then I have Dalton Varsho and Shea Langoliers. So these guys, all premium catching prospects. Right now, I'm in the major league team. I'm platooning with Varsho and Langoliers. Varsho's a left-handed bat, and Langoliers is a right-handed bat. So first base, this is an area where I would like to try to get a bit more of a prime. He's got a little bit of power, but still, I'd like somebody a little more flashy. Now, Brendan McKay is a two-way player, can end up playing there. In fact, I think I'm going to DH McKay in this upcoming game. But anyway, so that's still a possibility. But his main thing we want him focusing on is pitcher. 77 overall, A potential. He's our potential ace. So if we can get something out of him offensively, great. But all right. Now this is where, so you have Brujan, who I'm actually not starting in my starting lineup, but he's, another top A-level prospect in the system. I moved Adames over to third base because he's a very solid player, and he had third base as a secondary position, so I made his primary position third base, which I don't consider really to be cheating the game. If a guy doesn't have the position listed as a secondary, then, I don't think... Francisco, I don't know. I know that before a franchise you can... you can add players from the player vault. You can do different things you can move players between teams without having to make any kind of trade. I think you can do lineups too. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So yeah, Adames, and then of course, then you've got these two guys. And Xavier Edwards already made an impression, hit a home run, even though he's only hitting 143, but we're talking about 2 games here. So you've got these 2 guys who right now, I mean, you look at a double play combination. I'm playing Edwards at second and Franco at short. But yeah, you have, Brujan as well as a guy who, at the very least, would be a utility infielder. Now in the outfield, I am absolutely loaded. Grichuk. And so when I come out of this, what I would want to do is go back over to my data utility and save the roster. And you can just overwrite the file that you already downloaded, because it's basically going to be the same, file, only with the changes you made. And I believe that would allow you to set, your lineups before you ever enter franchise. I usually just wait until I get into franchise, but yeah, I think you could do it that way. I mean, this is what the method I use to add players from the player vault to a franchise. Is I go in and I do it through this roster control. So in here, I mean, you can do all kinds of things. You can move players without having to go through any kind of trade system. So if I wanted to move Charlie Morton to the Orioles and move Trey Mancini over to the Rays, I mean, I could just do that with no, repercussion. You just do it. And again, if I were to do that, and as long as I go back and save, then I should, that roster should take me into my franchise. All right, so hopefully that was helpful for you, Francisco, if you're still there, or if anyone's watching this back. All right, so let's see here. Need to... Yeah, man, hopefully that made sense, what I kind of showed you there. All right, so let's get a game going here. Facing Archer. Kind of funny the way Archer has, I mean, you go back maybe 3 years ago, talking about a guy that was kind of one of the top starting pitchers in baseball. And he got traded to the Pirates and really never had a lot of success. So I picked this Main Street Field as my home stadium, just trying to do a little bit extra to mix got the different, I've got the uniforms, the rebranding. I went ahead and put one like face of the franchise on every team except for my own. So like I'm playing the Pirates, so they have Roberto Clemente, along with their regular lineup, the regular team. And so there's one guy like that on every franchise. I tried to pick somebody who played their entire career just with that one franchise. That was kind of my ground rules on adding that one player cap. So I'm going with a left-hander, Anthony Banda, who is B potential, has good velocity, keeps the ball in the ballpark fairly well. I mean, these of course are all ratings for a young, unproven pitcher. 1 year of service time in the big leagues. And this is our lineup we're going with right now. Okay, and just kind of throwing Franco right into the fire as a starting shortstop and leadoff man. Then you've got your two veterans, three really, I guess. Lowe's not quite a veteran, but Cousins, as I said, hit a 3-run homer in the last game. I didn't really stop and mention this, but Adele was another one of my huge pickups in the offseason. Of course, he's one of the top outfield prospects in all of baseball. Along with Varsho, that's another big pickup. And Drew Waters from the Braves system, who's hitting .429 through 2 games. Langoliers I mentioned as well. I mean, my catching is loaded. Well, I wanted to DH McKay, didn't I? Cousins can't play first base, can he? Well, let's actually play. We're going to see how this goes, because McKay's secondary position, when you look at, like if you go into like his edit player option, his secondary position is listed as first base. Now, there's a thing embedded in the game this year where I think you have to play like 20 innings there before you actually open up like the two-way player status. So, I mean, if he plays all 9 innings, that's 9 innings there. But I just wonder, like, is he going to be decent over there? So he started game 1. If I play him today and then give him the next 2 days off after this, he should be okay to make his next start. And I don't know if, like, energy when he's playing in the field is going to affect his energy as a pitcher. I'm assuming it will. But let's go ahead and, with all these prospects, I don't have much choice. I'll just hit him 4th. Okay, here we go. So the Pittsburgh, I did the Pittsburgh Raiders. I kind of melded the logos of the Pittsburgh Steelers with the Pittsburgh Pirates with the Oakland Raiders, and kind of just, I don't know, a little bit of a mixing of those two organizations. My prospects after dark, so this is Clemente. My prospects after dark uniforms there, it's actually paying homage to a fellow St. Louis Cardinals blogger and podcaster. And we don't even blog or podcast for the same website, but he has a podcast he calls Prospects After Dark. And it's really one of my favorite podcasts out there. He knows prospects like no one else. And this is kind of the logo and he put it in the vault. And I asked him, I got permission and asked him if I could use it for this series. Use the, it's in the vault, so obviously he's putting it out there, but asked him if he didn't mind me using it for the series. So anybody, if you catch this stream, and if you're a fan of Prospect Talk, especially St. Louis Cardinals, absolutely need to check out Prospects After Dark. Kyle Reese is the gentleman's name who does the podcast, and it's a really unique format. There's a lot of interaction with listeners, and it's great. It's one of my favorite podcasts, really, of any genre. And so that's the Prospects After Dark, and that's the inspiration behind the uniforms.
One ball, one strike.
So in terms of setup here, I use meter pitching, zone hitting, which we'll talk about hitting here in a moment, but it's everything is pretty much Mike Lowe sliders from top to bottom, playing legend pitching, legend hitting, and his 1.6 slider set, which is in the vault. It's the most up-to-date version. Good hitting there by Banda. And there's Archer. See, pretty rough year last year. 5.19 ERA. So hitting. I need to stop for a second to talk about this. I recently underwent what I would call a hitting, I don't know what the right phrase would be, but I found myself just I would have good stretches of seeing the ball well, but then I would go through bad stretches. Kept questioning, am I using the right camera? Should I use a PCI? No PCI? Do I place my PCI a certain place if I'm using one? All kinds. I basically just went into practice mode, which the game, has in the front menu. And I just, I must have spent like 3 or 4 straight hours in practice mode, and I tried all different cameras. I tried even messing around with the camera editor to create my own. PCI, no PCI. My whole intent was to just settle upon something, and whatever it is after that session, I told myself, I'm staying with it. Whether I'm slumping, swinging it well, seeing the ball well, I'm tired of having to worry about. It's one of the things I love about Michael sliders is because I used to have slideritis, and I would change, sliders at the drop of a hat. Oh, this is not going well. This is wrong. And so I just give myself up to whatever Mike is suggesting through his slider set. So with this, it was kind of the same idea. So I ended up settling upon the retro hitting cam, and I am using a PCI, but I did make it sort of a faint white, so it's sort of like it's there, but it's not very distracting. And anyway, that's what I've settled upon. So let's see how we do in this one. Perfect. And it's caught. How about that? I'll get 2 on that. Yeah. Well, so far so good.
Batting third, the third baseman, Willie Gonzalez.
That might get down. Nope. So here's McKay. His first at bat of the season. Let's see how things go. Goodbye. And absolutely pounded around the foul pole. So that's okay. Maybe that dynamic first base bat is not needed. It's just complicated in terms of how to deal with a guy like this, as a pitcher and a hitter. But that was crushed. Little bat flip. 426 feet.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Dylan Cousin.
Nope, that's it.
Ooh. Thought I might get run up on that one. That ball's hit well. It's going to be caught though. Okay, Banda. Let's keep it up here. It's a hard curveball for a lefty. 83-mile-an-hour curveball. It's got some juice to it. I mean, you'll find some sliders that are only around 83, 85.
Nope, ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Good changeup. 93, 94.
That is it. The third baseman, Colin Moran.
Get over there, Drew. Drew Waters. Good looking outfield prospect.
That is it. The center fielder,
Currently in the Braves organization.
Gregory Toronto.
1-0. No, that missed. That's the ball. Peek. Ha. Call time.
Nasty curveball. That was a good looking curveball there. Alright, Joe Adele. Hasn't really done much. I mean, anytime, you know, whether good or bad, talking about 2 games. But Joe Adele is basically set to be the future here of center field for this organization. I do have Margot, who's a good hit, good against lefties.
The catcher, Dalton Marco.
That I should have jumped on. Look at this. Go, ball. I have hit some balls right on the button
The second baseman, Xavier
so far in this game.
Edwards.
No, that missed. That's the ball. 1-0.
Here we go, Xavier. Good waiting on the changeup.
Batting ninth, the left fielder, Drew.
Not doing.
Ball.
Do a little run and hit here. If it's a good pitch, I'm going to hammer at it. If it's a breaking ball, I'm going to leave it. Fastball, and he's out. No, 2 outs. It's not a terrible move. I want to check. See, I feel like the steal ratings in this game are totally broken. You see very few guys with a good steal rating. You see a lot of, you see enough guys with good speed. Now Xavier Edwards, I'm not 100% sure if he's seen as a big time base stealer or if he's stolen a lot of bases so far in his minor league career. I need to check into that. If he has, I mean, it's almost tempting to bump up that steal rating a bit. I hate to mess with ratings, I really do. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of the different speed ratings, even if I just look at the organization I know the best, like the Cardinals, I mean, Colton Wong, for example, I think had like 23 or 24 stolen bases last year at the big league level, playing as an everyday player. And they've got his steal rating like 30 or something like that, I want to say. I mean, it's way down. This doesn't make sense. Banda has 4 Ks in the early going here.
The designated hitter, number 44.
It's got that
1-0.
meter going where, you get kind of the fatter meter when you're on a roll.
That's the ball.
Promptly get behind 2-0. Hee-haw.
No, that missed.
They can put the ball in play here.
Take
Ah.
your bait.
See, that's where, you know, you'd rather have a guy hit a line shot off you,
The catcher.
give him a walk.
Ball.
All right. Let's regroup here, get a double play ball right here.
That missed. That's the ball.
Sir, it's a strike. That's staying in the ballpark. Come on, Joe. There we go.
The right fielder. Number 20.
Dangerous Roberto Clemente here.
Ball.
It's starting to get a little wild here with Danda
Nope. Ball.
in this inning. He's been a bit all over the place.
That's inside.
He's
Ball.
on the verge of walking a second hitter.
That's what.
You gotta be a little bit careful here. 2-run homer. Foul.
Foul ball.
Get it back in. Alright.
Now batting.
It's kind of a seeing eye signal now. This sets up a big at bat here. In the early going, and he gets him. Atta baby.
Leading off.
Drew Waters.
The left fielder. Drew Waters.
That's the ball. He's up.
When I'm hitting left-handed, I get tempted on those outer half pitches of trying to just like slap them down the line. It's really a pitch you should take. That boy Wander. Well, Franco's another one. I mean, 37 steal rating. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it should be higher, but
That's inside. That's the ball.
this is a guy who we really need to be kind of our just bell cow stud middle of the order bat in this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it got enough of the zone. Okay.
Ball. 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, Meadows just needs to be a beast for this team to fulfill its potential. 3-1. Okay. You know, I'm always tempted to power swing here, but I'm just going to keep it simple. Look for something right down the middle. And I double play ball. I was late. Yeah, I mean, it felt late. He got into my hands a little bit. I mean, it still hit fairly hard, but so I still marvel a bit sometimes at the hitting. I mean, a lot of people like to bag on the game here and there for different things, but I mean, as soon as I swung,
Leading off.
I knew that I was late on that, and he just right away the feedback, I guess. He just, before I even saw the feedback, I knew what had happened on that pitch, and that's pretty close to real life in baseball. You know, I mean, that's pretty cool. So.
That's in. Ball.
Banda's a bit like a wild stallion right now. I mean, I really don't ever quite know where any pitch is going, but get there, Joe. All right. The stuff's, good.
Now batting.
And he's almost through 4 here.
Moran.
Scoreless. Knock on wood.
Hee-haw! Right to.
Pitch there. Okay. Let's go up.
That's the ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Almost beat the shift there. Now when he throws this one good, yeah. He's thrown a couple curveballs and just been unhittable, but that was not one of them. All right, it's good enough. Time to get some more runs. I don't like this 2-run lead.
Third baseman. Really?
0-1.
I always get tempted by that
1-1.
high fastball, but more often than not, I'm late on it.
One, two. Ball.
Wow.
2-2.
Thought I might have win on that.
Now batting. First baseman.
McKay, if you missed it, hit an absolute towering blast.
It's 0-1.
A little bit of two-seam action helped out on that one.
1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Clean up.
Now batting. The designated hitter. Dylan. Goodman.
Ball. That's the ball.
All right, now I might power swing here just because it's too low. Nobody on.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Okay. That's just a situation. I'm going to start finding situations to power swing more often. That was a good changeup. I was totally fooled on that.
Ball. Count full.
That was probably ball 4. I think that was in off the plate. Oh, boy.
Leading off.
Yeah, this 2-0 lead is not going to hold up. I need to add on. The first couple innings, I was just... Even the outs I was getting off Archer were crushed. And now, all of a sudden, seems like I can't find the rhythm. Just got a piece of that. Good pitch. Almost took his time with that throw there.
Now batting for second baseman, Adam Lindsay.
No, that's out.
There we go. Get there, Franco. And a boy.
Now batting, number 44.
Yeehaw! One and two, the count.
Stay up. Yeah, baby. Another inning for Banda. But we need to add on right here. Let's go.
Adele.
42 pitches. I've been way too aggressive. I think
Ball.
those first couple innings I was hitting the ball so hard, it's like I just felt like every pitch was going to be right there for me, and now I mean, not that that pitch there was a bad pitch to hit, but there's that changeup again.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Changeups and splits in this game can be tough. Now, if they hang one, those are some of the easier pitches to hit out, but playing on legend hitting, they don't hang them that often.
Second baseman,
That ball's hit hard, but right at the third baseman, what are you going to do? Get down. So he's through 5 with 46 pitches. Here I am on the top of the 6th at 60 pitches.
Jacob
Get shot.
Stone.
Now, one of the things that's interesting about this team as we enter the 6th inning here is I have no clue what I'm doing with my bullpen. Because my bullpen is almost entirely made up of, like, prospects who are starters.
Now batting, the right fielder.
I have Alvarado at the back end. He's my closer. But other than that, like, I really don't have any defined roles at all for setup man, or I don't have any lefties, I don't think, either, which is kind of a problem. I don't. Come on, Drew. Get on that. There we go. Yeah, I can kind of... I do have a lefty down there. Okay, so... Got the one lefty. I mean, these are all just starting pitching prospects. I have no... Obviously, you have a slight discrepancy in rating. Like, these two guys are at 68. I did throw a couple innings with Nix. He was good. Peacock was good. He got the win in the first game. So the guys I've seen, I've been impressed with. I guess Andrews must have pitched. I don't really remember that, but I haven't seen yet Baz, O'Brien, Honeywell, or Rodriguez, I don't think. So if I have to go to somebody, I'll probably go to Rodriguez. If I have to go to someone before the closer, just to see, what he is all about. And obviously we're still early season here. Alright, so I probably just jinxed Banda by looking at the bullpen. Because, I mean, he has been Just fantastic here. And granted, it's the Pirates, but still a big league ball club, and he's not an established pitching star. Get there, Joe. Okay. All right, so I like this. Waters, Franco, Meadows. I like what we got set up here. Need to add on here.
1-0.
Really going to try to zone up here. There we go. 2-0. Still want to be aggressive, though, if he... And that's not what I meant. Although that might have not even been a strike. Probably need to shut up about hitting and just hit. Okay, frustration starting to set in here. And that's when he's swinging stuff like that.
One and one.
I want him to just cement mix one of those sliders right down the middle. Okay, Banda, I guess you're going to have to carry us here. One pitch, one out. 70 pitches into the seventh. Now his stamina is already showing at yellow. Of course, I would love to get him through 8, at least get him to my closer.
1-1.
Because of that uncertainty with the other guy rolls and the guys in down there. Two count. Let's get a breaking ball down. That's about where I wanted it. I'm gonna do it again. Oof. It was a ball though. Stayed in the ballpark. It's pitched into a little bit of good luck like that. There have been a few balls hit well. Right at the fielders.
No, that's inside.
I got him. Anthony Banda. Okay, so they went to the bullpen. And really, thank you for that. You know, I've heard Mike talk a lot about sliders. I'm sorry, the bullpen. Oh, I had it on what? I could have sworn I checked this and it was on 5. Shoot. I thought I had this on 5. It was at 8. So I was about to complain about them taking out a guy who had been rolling since the second inning against me, first inning really, and only had thrown like 60 pitches. But when I had manager hook, but still, it says situation is still the dominant factor. Well, I mean, situation there, you would normally still keep your starter in, but that's my screw up. I thought for sure I had hook at 5 to start the game. Oh well. I guess if I start battering their bullpen, I'm going to kind of feel bad about that, but another knock from McKay.
Now back, the designated hitter, Dylan Johnson.
Goodbye. Stay fair. Oh. Sometimes they mess this whole animation up. They'll like say home run and then the guy will still be hitting. So what's the call, guys? The shadow should foul. What was that supposed to be? You just pointed up at the... Let's look at this. Cousins has shown me some big-time power. Boy, I tell you what, as high as that thing was, it almost looked fair with that angle. What's this sign? No. Safe? Okay.
No ball, 2 strikes.
Got me thinking that was the same pitch and just slider dropped out.
One and 2. That's the ball.
Very nearly went around there. It was a late check. And there's the equalizer, the changeup.
Now back, the center fielder, Joe Adele.
Alright, so now we're into this 8th here.
The center fielder,
Let's go ahead and get a double barrel action right and left going. In case we need it. I would even... Actually, I would, we'll change it up here. I would go to Alvarado for a 2-inning save, 4 or 5 out save if I had to, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him up as a lefty. Got the high strike there. Shoot. Left the changeup up. Could feel it out of the hand. Now it starts to get really interesting.
Second baseman, Adam Quincy.
Gonna leave him. See what happens with this batter. He's earned that much. But this could be his last batter. Oh, stopped it. Wow.
Now batting, number 44.
Anthony, how you feeling? You alright? Or to get you? Arm? I'm gonna abuse the mound visit function. Son, you've done enough. Going to Alvarado for a 5-out save. Now this is risky.
Your attention, please.
It's not like Alvarado is just one of the top closers in all of baseball or anything like that. In fact, I think he's not even a closer. He has closed some. Gets ahead with a breaking ball. Now, I'm not, tell you, I mean, if somehow things go south, I'm not completely committed to the idea that he has to get all 5 of these outs. So I'm going to get up Rodriguez again. Oof. How do you lay off that? 92.
One ball, 2 strikes.
That's nasty. Obviously giving up the run here for an out if we have to. Good block. .102 on the 2-seamer, and he fouls it off. This guy's delivering a tough at bat here. Got him. Big K.
Now batting,
All right.
Jacob Strong.
Gotta monitor the pitch count here.
Ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mm.
2-1 to count.
But I'm going like full bore pitch effectiveness here with this gentleman. Yeah.
2-2.
Oof.
Ball count.
Do not want to face Clemente with 2 runners on. Got him. 102. All right, so he's gonna start the 9th.
Leading off for the Sky
So we're just gonna go ahead and sit down our bullpen for now. We'll get him back up when we start the 9th inning.
0-1.
Now this would be a time, beautiful time to get some runs. Good on the contact there, but little liner goes right to left field. That's going to be caught. Good, good again.
Now back, left fielder, Drew Water.
No, that missed. That's the ball. One and one.
See, that's where I still am undisciplined. I need to don't touch my PCI. And that slider was right down the middle, and yet I'm going up to it. That was better. I was just late. Although, no, it shows that I pulled down on it. I didn't think I did.
2-2.
Ball's hit well, but it's not well enough. So it's going to come down to Alvarado, and he's going to be at the top of the order if he's going to have to get this done. Now we're going to, let's get 2 right-handers up. Why not? This guy really is filthy, though. My goodness. Oh, it's down. And that's not a good start to the inning. You'd see Adele kind of broke back slightly. And you kind of wonder, is that have something to do with defensive rating? Like, would a guy with higher defensive rating not have that happen to him? I don't care about the runner. Oof.
1-1.
Need a double play ball here. Would be awesome. How about a game-tying home run? $350 feet. I don't know if I'll be able to keep this as my stadium. 350-foot home run. I'm a bit shell-shocked. Can't believe... I mean, to give up a home run is one thing, but that was such a cheap little... Is that only one out? Yeah. I gotta watch. So he's at 25 pitches here. I gotta be careful. Of course, you got lefties coming up. I mean, he's just dominant. How did that guy hit that ball out the opposite field? 350-foot fly ball. Man. Thought we had, and what a waste the effort by Banda as well. He's at 30 pitches. So he's probably done for the next game at least. And that, oh, come on, stay in the ballpark. Okay. over that. So still got Birdie on the mound. We'll go with Rodriguez in the 10th if there is one. There we go. Take two. Nice work, Wander. Now, Austin Meadows he's not going to bunt here, would he? The perfect pitch to hit to the right side. Look at this. Oh. Carter moves up. Infield's in here. If I was a computer, I'd squeeze right here.
One ball, no strike.
And they're thinking the same thing. Okay, 2-0. And they may be content just to walk in here. You need to stay focused. But God, that changeup was just sitting there. Problem was I was expecting fastball, so it's just... There it is. Ball game. Attaboy. I'll take it. We will take it.
Here now is our final line score.
So just 6 hits.
3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left 3 men on
Wander, McKay hitting stars. Of course, Adamus getting that sac fly there. Get the job done in the clutch. Cousins just missed a bomb with that light tower shot he hit.
joining us here this afternoon. And we remind you that please, drive home safely.
Got Edwards caught stealing. I mean, look at that line for Banda. 2 hits over 7 1/3, 1 walk, 5 Ks. All right. So that's 1 win after the loss. So I would have to, in order to keep playing, I have to win 5 in a row. So I have to sweep the Yankees, or the Dark Knights as I have them, the Gotham Dark Knights. And then I'd have to win this first game against the Texas Cowboys. So that probably ain't happening. What I'm going to do for episode 3 is I will probably I'll play offline, assuming that I'm probably going to lose. And so the next episode would actually be to show the manner in which I would simulate to the All-Star break, would stop at the draft, and then at the All-Star break make any moves that we see as necessary. We'd have a good look at our team. We'd have a good look at who's performing and who isn't. Of course, performance is all relative when you're talking about these young prospects. Even if a guy is struggling, if there's certain rays of hope, then you obviously stick with a guy. So the next episode would probably be more of like a sim episode, showing you, we've lost, and and how the process goes when we simulate through to the All-Star break. Depending on how quickly that goes, maybe we would then play our first game after the All-Star break in the stream. But I don't necessarily know. It could just be kind of a sim and talking through some moves and stuff like that, because I don't want to spend an hour and a half going through the process and then another hour playing the game. It's a 2.5, 3 hour stream, which I did for episode 1, and it just was too much. So we'll go ahead and finish things up here. Not a whole lot. Obviously, nice to win 2 out of 3 in the first series. This young, kind of plucky club, and Banda was really impressive on the mound. There's definitely some nice. The left-handed power on this team is pretty. The potential is pretty impressive when you look at Cousins and McKay, Meadows, and then you've got your switch hitters like Franco, and not that those are really power hitters, but definitely some dangerous left-handed bats. All right. So make sure always that we save. All right, well, so we're going to bring this episode to a close. Next time will be, like I said, probably be after a loss, which would be our second loss within 5 games, and we would look at simming to the All-Star break. Prospecting for gold. Remember, we're also going to be looking to potentially add another top flight prospect pitcher and then a first baseman. I am curious with McKay. Well, we'll look at that next time. I'm wondering how him playing first base that game might have affected his stamina for his next pitching outing. So we're going to see about that next time. All right. Thanks for watching. Until next time.